All right, we have some breaking news, and this is yet another serious subject matter. Former President Bush and former President Barack Obama just came out in unison to straight up, wholeheartedly condemn Trump's shuttering of USAID. Not only was it illegal for Trump to have Elon Musk come in and shutter USAID through the executive branch, but on top of that, the effects of this we will feel for decades and decades to come. It's not something like gas prices, like a changing indicator that people see on a day-to-day basis on their way to work or way to school or on their walk. It's not something that people feel quite yet in the United States, but I can guarantee you people already feel it across the globe. There's already been a few 100,000 reported deaths due to the shuttering of USAID, and the deaths are projected to be into the millions because this disease prevention doesn't just prevent diseases for people in Africa or people in other continents, but those diseases are then prevented from coming back to the US's doorstep. I mean, it's very, very simple, and there are long-term returns on this. I'm pretty sure Trump has spent more on, like, illegal deportations and military parades than USAID spent over the past few years. So before we even break down this article, let me lay the groundwork by saying this. Former Presidents Obama and Bush condemned Donald Trump's closure of USAID. They were also there with Bono. Bono has been somebody who has traveled the world and who has been very, very against USAID being slashed. Let's see what he said on the Joe Rogan podcast not long ago.
Just recent report. It's not proven, but the surveillance enough suggests 300,000 people have already died from just this cut off, this hard cut of USAID. So there's food rotting in boats, in warehouses. There is this will fuck you off. This will not, you will not be happy.
It will not be good.
No American will, but there is, I think it's 50,000 tons of food that are stored in Djibouti, South Africa, Dubai, and wait for it, Houston, Texas. And that is rotting rather than going to Gaza, rather than going to Sudan, because the people who know the codes or for the warehouse are fired. They're gone.
Yep.
And
very well said from Bono. This rapid cutoff is going to hurt tens of millions of people across the globe. And if you don't believe me, check out this new study that came out regarding USAID. It says staggering. This new study of 133 countries is the first to estimate the impact of all of USAID's work. In 2 decades, it saved 92 million lives. Current cuts, if not reversed, are forecast to cost 14 million lives through 2030, and we were spending $50–60 billion to save tens of millions of lives. And I know that $60 billion is no small amount. No one wants to waste that. But this is not a waste. If you think about this like a businessman and not like a child, then the return on investment you get for $60 billion is tens of millions of lives. If Elon Musk and Donald Trump were actually the brilliant businessmen they claim to be, they would understand the return on investment aspect of all of these costs that the government has built up, such as USAID. This wasn't some calculated shuttering. This was Elon Musk being a baby and not thinking about the long-term preservation of humanity. Now, the thing is, Peter Thiel is pulling a lot of the strings, and we know he doesn't care about the long-term preservation of humanity. Here's New York Times columnist Nicholas Kristof on the ground talking about the waste, fraud, and abuse of USAID. If you made it this far in the video, make sure you drop a blue heart and double check to make sure you're subscribed to the Mockler feed. We're going to be doing a lot of high quality political live streams over the next few years, but especially over the next few months. It starts soon. Subscribe below to make sure we're beating MAGA media, and check this out. I mean, it is fraudulent. The way it happened was Elon Musk unilaterally shuttering things through the executive branch, but this brings me on to breaking news. Barack Obama and George W. Bush unite to slam Donald Trump's disastrous decision to shutter USAID, which could result in 14 million deaths, calling it a, quote, colossal mistake. This is bigger than partisan politics. Quote, gutting USAID is a travesty and it's a tragedy because it's some of the most important work happening anywhere in the world, Obama said in private comments, according to the Associated Press. In a farewell video presented to USAID workers before the agency's final day, Obama and Bush shredded Trump's behavior. Obama said that, quote, sooner or later, Leaders on both sides of the aisle will realize how much you are needed and assured the employees that, quote, your work has mattered and will matter for generations to come. Bush, no fan of Trump, condemned the cuts to the president's emergency plan for AIDS relief, or PEPFAR. Quote, is it in our national interest that 25 million people who would have died now live? I think it is, and so do you, said Bush. You've showed the great strength of America through your work and through your good heart. Trump cut roughly 90% of USAID's foreign aid contracts when Elon Musk was running amok with his Doge initiative. The billionaire oligarch slashed the crucial agency's workers from 10,000 to less than 300. As a result, untold suffering and death has been unleashed across the globe as innocent people are denied the programs that were helping them survive. USAID will be absorbed by spineless Marco Rubio's State Department and will be formally replaced with an organization called America First that will focus on Trump's cruel, xenophobic, isolationist agenda. A study in The Lancet found that the myopic dismantling of USAID could result in 14 million avoidable deaths within 5 years. Beyond causing millions of avoidable deaths, particularly among the most vulnerable, these cuts risk reversing decades of progress in health and socioeconomic development in low and middle income countries, it stated. Trump's ultimate legacy will be ashes and death. They elected a monster. Americans elected a monster. Now the entire world is paying the price. We have to continue pushing back against USAID, against executive overreach. That's why the work we do here is important. The work that you guys do is incredibly important. The work that USAID does is more important than I think all. And I praise all of the workers. The last day had just happened this week, and we'll continue to fight back. We will continue to relentlessly spread the message. If you want to join the mission, make sure you subscribe to the feed below, drop a like. I'll see you on the next video, and peace out.